I've been at this bike thing for a long time. I spent a lot of my teenage years working for big retailers assembling entry-level bikes. I started working on bikes when I was about 11 years old, and of course in recent years we've done a ton of bike builds, everything from entry-level on up to the high end. And so I feel like I've developed a feel for what works and what doesn't work on the trail. Some parts tend to be more for show, while others tend to be more capable. And it can be a daunting task in this price point to find a bike that can go out on the trail and not fall apart. So I put together a list of 5 bikes that I think are great values and they are trail capable and ready to go. So let's take a look at them, but before we do, let's go over the criteria that we used to select these bikes. It's been a while since we've done a budget bike buyer's guide. The last time we did one, we were in the midst of a bike shortage and prices were kind of high. Today, things have changed dramatically. All those bikes that were ordered during the COVID pandemic have shown up on our shores, and companies are just trying to get rid of as much as they can. What that means now for the budget bike rider is that you have so many great opportunities to pick up a fantastic bike for the money. First off, these bikes need to be trail capable right out of the box. That means they can handle beginner to intermediate level single track without rattling apart. So these bikes have to be still built very durable and have some reasonable parts on them. We don't want any what I call faux mountain bikes, mountain bikes that are just, they look like mountain bikes, but they don't necessarily behave like mountain bikes. The next important piece of kit is the fork. You need a suspension fork, and if you don't know what a fork is the front part of the bike that holds the front wheel. The front wheel is where the large majority of your traction comes from on a mountain bike. That is where your stopping power, your cornering, all that ability really starts with the front wheel. I don't care if it's a coil fork or an air fork. At this price point, you're going to have drawbacks and benefits of either style. Now, the next criteria we want to consider is we want to have what's called a one-by drivetrain. This is not a one-by drivetrain. A proper one-by system is going to only have one chainring up front. Now, this keeps things simple, and what it does use is what's called a narrow-wide chainring. Now, on your left is your typical 3-by drivetrain, and it has what is a non-clutch derailleur, which means that it's very, very loose, so you tend to get a lot of chain slap, and that is problematic. On the right-hand side, you have a 1-by drivetrain with what's called a clutch derailleur, and it is significantly stiffer. And what that does, it prevents the chain from coming loose. Reducing the probability of popping your chain on the trail is, to me, one of the greatest benefits of the 1-by system. You have less weight, you have less maintenance, you have more reliability, you have better performance. All in all, it's just a win. So why would you even want to go with a 3-by system in this day and age? Interesting. Another thing, I'm going to explain geometry, but I'm not going to go through it with numbers of angles and millimeters and whatnot. I'm going to try to explain these ones here in plain English. You're new to this. What are you going to know about a chainstay length or a head tube angle? I'll put links to all the bikes in the description, as well as timestamps if you want to jump around and take a look at a specific bike. Our first contender is the Cannondale Trail 5. It's got a lightweight aluminum frame that features internal cable routing for a clean look. It also has rack mounts giving you commuter and bike packing capability. The bike's geometry makes this an efficient pedaling bike for long days in the saddle. With the Trail 5, you'll get a strong climber and a decent descender within reason. The bike is suitable for mellower trails. The Trail 5 comes with the following spec. The fork on this bike is the Suntour XCM coil fork with 100 millimeters of travel. The XCM is very basic. The wheels are made up of reliable WTB rims laced to Shimano hubs. The wheels in all sizes are 29-inch with the exception of small and extra small. Those come with 27.5-inch wheels. Now those wheels come wrapped in WTB Ranger tires, a versatile fast-rolling tire that can do double duty on the trail and around the neighborhood. The bike is moved along by a Microshift Advent X 10-speed drivetrain with an 11 to 46 tooth cassette in the rear and a Pro Wheel brand crankset up front. This is a good gear range in this category. The Tektro M275 hydraulic brakes will give you plenty of stopping power. This bike is perfect for beginners looking to explore off-road trails without emptying their wallets. This is not the bike for someone who wants to upgrade. The frame is limited by the older straight steer tube. This is the type of bike that you'll ride and then maybe sell or pass on to someone else when you're ready for a more advanced bike. The list price here is $960, with street prices currently ranging from $600 to $800. This is a fair value for the money. The next bike on this list is the Kona Lavadome. Kona brings a capable budget bike to this battle with its 29-inch wheeled, aluminum-framed Lavadome. The frame is burly and meant to take you on whatever adventures your heart desires. The geometry on this bike again is designed for efficient pedaling and stability. The Lavadome adds a strong tapered head tube, and you can add an internally routed dropper post if you so choose. The bike comes with a Suntour XCR32 suspension fork. The XCR32 is a coil spring fork with adjustable preload, a lockout, and trickling down from the higher end is an adjustable rebound damper. This controls how fast the fork extends or rebounds after a bump. This can really help fine-tune your bike for a more comfortable ride. The Kona comes with a Microshift Advent 9-speed drivetrain with an 11 to 46 tooth cassette in the rear. This is a good range in this category that'll get you up most steep climbs. The wheel set is a combination of Alex rims and Joytech hubs. Those wheels are either wrapped in WTB Trail Boss tires or Maxxis Recon tires. Those are both excellent tires that roll fast and grip well. Kona equips the Lavadome with the Tektro M275 hydraulic disc brakes. And you get a decent-sized rotor up front at 180 millimeters and a 160 millimeter rotor in the rear. This combo gives the bike more controllable braking performance. Overall, this is a bike you can grow into. It can be upgraded with a modern suspension fork and dropper seat post. The frame will also accept a 2.6-inch wide tire for those that prefer more cushion on their ride. The Lavadome has an MSRP of $875, and you can find this bike on sale between $600 and $700 at your local Kona retailer or online. That makes the Lavadome a great value for the budget-conscious rider and why it's number 4 on this list. Coming in at number 3 on this list is the REI Co-Op DRT 1.2. Co-Op is REI's house brand, and they give you a pretty good spec for the money. The DRT 1.2 is an aluminum frame bike, and there's been a little thought put into the sizing. This allows the bike to keep its playful handling regardless of size. The 1.2 brings us into the modern era with 15mm front and 12mm rear through axles. The geometry of this bike is one of the more progressive in this category. This makes the bike suited for more aggressive terrain. The head angle is decently slack for descending, the seat tube is quite steep to get you in a good riding position, and the chainstay length is in the sweet spot for nimbleness and stability. The spec list starts with the SR Suntour XCM32 fork with 120mm of travel. You really don't have any adjustment with the XCM, but you do get a boost through axle on this fork, which provides additional strength and stiffness. The DRT 1.2 has a 10-speed Microshift Advent drivetrain. The cassette has a nice wide range of 11 to 48 teeth. More teeth on the cassette means more climbing capability. The wheel set is made up of Co-Op branded rims laced to Shimano hubs. REI gives you the ever-popular Maxxis Recon tires in a respectable 2.4-inch width. The brakes are the ever-reliable Shimano MT200. The MSRP on the DRT 1.2 is $999. If you're an REI member, you'll get 10% of your purchase back in the form of a reward. You'll also get free flat tire repairs and 20% off shop services. I've been an REI member since 2000. Having through axles on the wheels instead of quick release is a really nice touch. And with a smart spec and progressive geometry, this is a worthy bike to fill this number 3 spot. At number 2 is the Marin San Quentin 1. Unlike the other bikes on this list, the San Quentin falls in the aggressive hardtail category. This bike has an aluminum frame and runs 27.5-inch wheels. The bike is for the aspiring shredder, and it's reflected in the more descent-focused geometry. The San Quentin has the slackest head tube on this list at 64 degrees. The geometry is aggressive. Beyond the raked out fork, this bike has a long reach, a steep seat angle, and short chainstay. In practical terms, this gives the bike some high-speed stability, some poppiness when you need it, and a good riding position to climb back up to the top and do it again. The San Quentin 1 has a Suntour XCM 34 coil spring fork with 130 millimeters of travel. That fork uses a modern boost through axle. Now this provides stiffness and better tracking on the trail. The wheels are Marin branded, they're double-walled rims with 32 spokes. Now those wheels are wrapped in big beefy V flow snap tires. And those wheels are turned by a 9-speed microshift advent group set with an 11 to 46 tooth cassette in the rear and a Marin branded crankset with 32 tooth chainring up front. The stopping power comes from the Tektro M275 brakes. You get bigger 180mm rotors for improved stopping power and cooling. The bike is a good choice for someone that rides in an area with steep terrain, or an aggressive rider coming from BMX looking for something cheap. The San Quentin 1 retails for $999 and can be found on sale periodically for $800. The number one bike on this list is a nimble and efficient bike with an unbeatable spec for the cost. The Polygon Xtrada 7. Polygon has taken off globally in recent years for its no-frills, fantastic bang-for-the-buck bikes. The Xtrada 7 is no exception. The Xtrada comes in 27.5 and 29er wheel options. The frame has a tapered head tube, it has internal dropper post compatibility, and a modern boost-through rear axle. The geometry is modern cross-country, balancing pedaling efficiency and descending prowess. The spec is solid for the cost, beginning with the fork. The company will spec it with either the Suntour XCR 32 Air or the RST Ariel 15. Fork travel is 120 millimeters. To get you around, the bike has a 12-speed drivetrain. The drivetrain is a combination of Shimano Deore, Sunrace, and KMC. You get a Deore shifter, derailleur, and crankset. You get a wide range Sunrace 11 to 51 tooth cassette. And everything is connected with a chain from KMC. The wheels are from Entity, which is Polygon's house brand. They have a 30mm internal width to give you a wide range of tire options. They are also Tubless compatible. The tires are the fast-rolling and grippy WTB Trail Boss. Stopping power is courtesy of the ever-reliable Shimano MT201 hydraulic disc brakes. The Xtrada 7 is for someone that wants a highly capable bike without the cost. The frame is future-proof and component spec is ready to go out of the box. The Xtrada 7 has an MSRP of $1,100, but it can frequently be found on sale for $900. This bike will serve beginners to experienced riders looking to save money and not feel underbiked. So that's my list. If you think there are more worthy bikes, let me know in the comments. If you found this video helpful, hit that like button and subscribe. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.